and welcome to Media Enhanced Learning 3240 PIPD program from Vancouver Community College live presentation. I'm just going to share my screen here with everybody. All right, and there we go. Today I'll be presenting the 4 E's of game-based media. This presentation has a Creative Commons license. It is an attribution, non-commercial, share alike. This means the presentation may be remixed, adapted, and built upon as long as credit is given and the license terms stay the same. Please note this presentation is being recorded for submission of this assignment and will be available to the public on YouTube. I'd like to do a territory acknowledgement. I work for Camosun College, the interurban campus here in Victoria, BC, on Vancouver Island. These are the traditional territories of the Lekwungen and Wasanish peoples. We acknowledge their welcome and graciousness for all the students that come and seek education and knowledge here on their lands. Introductions. My name is Nyle Petherbridge. I'm a Red Seal chef and have been for over 30 years. I'm a culinary arts instructor in Hubert Hall at the Camosun campus in Victoria. I am halfway through my PIPD journey. This is course number 6. And why did I choose game-based media? I chose game-based media because I used it in the past, specifically the one I'm going to talk about today. It's found it to be super fun, energizing, engaging, and creates a lot of fun commotion in the classroom. At this point, if there was anyone else, I would ask you to share why you chose to watch my presentation and where you were at in your PIPD journey. All right. Has anyone heard of Quizlet before? Has anyone ever played Quizlet before as a learner? There are other game-based media. There's Kahoot, which is very, very popular. I'd say more popular than Quizlet at current time. Jeopardy Lab is another exciting game-based media in the Jeopardy format, just like TV. Duolingo is another one where you're learning a language through online games. But I've chosen to use Quizlet because I've used it in the past. I'm going to show you a 1-minute video explaining the basis of Quizlet if you guys are not familiar with it. And away we go. Right. So that's a catchy little tune on Quizlet, isn't it? At least it gets caught in my head when I hear it. So just a review from the video, what did we learn about Quizlet? It's definitely game-based media. It's free for everyone, but in this world of everything free online, like YouTube Premium and other subscriptions, there is a premium subscription package, but if you are to use it, it is free for you and your students. You can use it online, offline. Well, your students can study on the bus on their way home or their way to school. You can do it online, interactive in class. Quizlet is instructor or can be instructor or self-directed. You can send students to the content you create in Quizlet, as well as other content that you think is suitable, and definitely helps with concepts for students when they see other information. It contains multiple activities, flashcards, matching, multiple choice. There's group activities, which are the most fun, I would suggest, timed activities, which limits the amount of time people have to answer and pits them against one another. The group competition is set up in a race, and each person or group has an animal. And as you answer questions, the animal goes across the screen towards the finish line. If you get questions wrong, it'll bump you back 1 point. So those are the ones that I find make the most commotion in the classroom. But if you have students that are shy or not interested in that kind of pressure participating, there is autonomous studying, which you can do on your own time with the same information and materials. It's a shared learning resource. So other instructors, teachers, professionals, there's a lot of information. So there's not a ton of onus on the instructor to create materials, because there are a lot of great materials out there, and it's all shared content. Lots of music, graphics, fun little songs. It's upbeat, it's stimulating, interactive. There also now in Quizlet is what's called QChat, which is an artificial intelligence tutor, which can answer student questions in real time, even if the instructor is not available, and help guide them through some of the material. And the last item, which was new to me in my research, is textbook solution experts, where you can link existing textbooks to the material that the students are learning. So if they're needing assistance or help, they can go directly to the textbook that they have in their class online, if that textbook has been previously shared in Quizlet. All right, I know that's a lot of information to take all at once. Now we're going to go through the 4 E's and see how Quizlet performs on all of these. All right, so Excite. Lots of the games are timed. It's a competition with classmates. You can auto-select groups. I've often done this with phones in the classroom. Every student I have has a smartphone. They're able to compete against each other or work in groups on their individual phone, answering questions and compete. Once the correct answer is selected, their icon will move across the screen. It's up to the students if they want to disclose who they are or which icon. Usually the winner always wants to disclose. The people that don't win may not want to disclose who they were. But like any kind of game, it's entertaining. There's music, movement, colors, animations. In today's world, I would suggest that teachers are also entertainers if they want to be successful in the YouTube Shorts world. And this brings a lot of quick, exciting entertainment that is disguised as learning. I know for myself, I had to memorize plenty of terms when I was taking my Red Seal many, over 30 plus years ago. I was memorizing and writing things down from textbooks, from all sorts of books. Online resources were limited. So this takes the drudgery out of memorization and makes it fun. And you can, see the same material in multiple contexts. And so that's exciting for students. As far as my references go, Flores Aguilar et al. In the study of International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health in 2023. There was a lot of amazing student comments of what they felt gamification did for them in school. The students had a feeling of connection to the subject. They felt as in groups that they were bonded and they worked better in groups. Although the group work is very limited to, short spurts of time. Excuse me. And ultimately, students felt a connection to the subject material. How does Quizlet engage? Quizlet intrinsically motivates learners, which is for the pleasure of the task. People like games. They want to play games. If they're playing games and learning at the same time, so much better. It's enhanced learning through fun, keeps learners interested and entertains, promotes those short-term activities, and gives immediate feedback on performance. So students know where they are at, as well as the teacher does. And we'll talk about that in a following slide. Quizlet can be self-directed, which is a bonus for adult learners. They can do it on their own time. You'd lose the competition part of it, but you still are able to practice and learn the materials, which is great for adult learners. Again, the Flores Aguilar et al. Study of International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health 2023 stated, quote, teachers, including higher education, must incorporate new methodological approaches that shift the focus from the teacher to the students to provide successful experiences that can fulfill student needs, increasing their motivation, end quote. A second quote from Flores Aguilar et al. Gamification has been found to increase students' intrinsic motivation, and it can promote positive outcomes when properly structured, which I would suggest Quizlet does very well, although that study is specific to that study is specific to, well, I'm drawing a blank there. Kahoot, sorry. All right. Next, educate. How does Quizlet educate our students? It engages students in the process. Students are forced to participate, right? Students are not able to sit in class and not participate when everyone around them is on their phone participating. And a lot of the games will not load or go until all the students have logged in, which is an easy process of clicking on a QR screen. Students had improved summative test scores. The AI support also helps with education because students are able to get support immediately while learning. Quizlet is self-directed, so students that regulate their own learning are better lifelong learners. The metacognition, or students thinking about their own thinking and learning. And then my reference here in the MJ Cadet 2023 application of game-based online learning platform Kahoot. Again, I'd say Quizlet and Kahoot are very similar. Found that 73% of students believed it promoted engagement, increased test scores in post-lecture quizzes, and gave them a better understanding of topics. So lots of positive evidence for gamification in the classroom. How does Quizlet evaluate? So frequent evaluation reduces the fear of evaluation. If you're having a small quiz every week, it's not so scary when that quiz comes around every Friday and you know what to expect. It yields valid and reliable evaluation, as the material taught can be tested in frequently in many different formats. Is it multiple choice? Is it matching? Is it a laser game where you're shooting the answers? All these things are available in Quizlet, and you can use the same information, so you're making sure that your testing is reliable and valid. Checking in frequently with a student allows the instructor to guide learning for the group or individuals. If you don't know where students are, these little games will help identify students that are falling behind, or areas for the whole class where the instructor needs to review materials. In my references, Fenwick and Parson in The Art of Evaluation concluded that, quote, evaluation should take place many times during the instructional process to accurately judge a learner's progress, end quote. And that, quote, evaluation is reliable if it measures the same information consistently. Ultimately, what is measured often is what becomes learned, end quote. All right, report card for Quizlet. How are we feeling Quizlet does on all these items. So Excite, A+. If you've ever been in a room when students are playing games, especially in groups, it gets very rambunctious, rowdy. There's cheering, there's music, the competition drives the energy in the room, and it's very fun and exciting, and certainly breaks the monotony of lectures or other quiet format tests. So I definitely give it an A+ in the Excite category. Engage, I gave Quizlet an A. Intrinsically motivating. Games are fun. People like to have fun, so it's great at engaging learners in that. Being self-directed also helps. People can self-direct or study when they need to with those materials, although it takes a bit of the fun aspect out, depending on whether you enjoy competition with others in the group or not. Educate, I gave it a B+. I think Quizlet encourages short spurts of group work. It's better for summative scores on quizzes and tests. There's AI assisted learning. You can repeat the material in multiple formats. But I don't think games are great, but I don't think it is the end all be all for learning. Thus, I gave it a B+. Group work, you need to do bigger group projects to actually get the benefits of group work, other than playing a game for 5 minutes. And evaluate, I also gave Quizlet a B+. It's great for self-assessment. It's also great for instructor assessment of students and or the class. But really, you're not going to give a person a final grade from a game that they played online. Maybe you would, but I don't feel comfortable with that. So I suggest it's not going to replace any formal summative grading. And that's my report card for Quizlet. Here are the references that I referenced during my presentation. The Cadet MJ 2003 application of game-based learning platform Kahoot. Fenwick and Parsons, which everyone is probably familiar with by now, as one of our first textbooks. The Flores Aguilar et al. Group. I learned more because I became more involved. A lot of that is student feedback and student perceptions. And of course, the video I played for you there is also there. At this point, I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Since there's only myself here, I'm assuming that there are no questions. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.